All right, what up, YouTube? Marley G back at y'all on an episode of Running with Your No Cap No Filter. And today I'm running with you about the whole saying that women always like to say when they say, I don't want a man or I don't need a man. I'm going to tell you the translation of what that actually means from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead on, sit back and get your popcorn ready. I think I'm about to go ahead on into some real detail with this one right here. So let's go ahead on and get at it right now. All right, so and we're gonna talk about when women say this from the black community. You know, I can't really speak on these other communities like that. I'm always tend to stick to what I know and what I see. So when a black woman says I don't want a man or I don't need a man, that usually can mean a lot of different things all at one time. But I'm gonna go ahead on and break it down layer by layer. We're gonna really peel it back. A lot of times this means she just had got heartbroken, or it means she just had, she picked a bad apple. She thought she picked somebody that could, maybe mold himself into the man that she wants him to be, or that he can be, or whatever potential she's seen in him, but it just ain't work out for whatever reason. Maybe the dude was probably selling her dreams, selling her wolf tickets, and it just ain't panning out. Or, maybe it was just, the man was good or whatever, but he had one big flaw. Maybe it was cheating, or maybe it was, he was lying about how much money he got. It's always just one big flaw. Or he probably was in like a relationship, but just hide it until he got caught. So that could mean a whole lot of different things at once. But like I said, we're gonna peel it back layer by layer. So that's like one of the first reasons. She just, was just disappointed with a man recently or whatever. So now she's in her healing phase. She's in her phase of, finding herself and, quote unquote, working on herself, So a lot of people tell you, oh, I don't need a man. I'm just trying to work on myself. I'm just trying to find myself and my tap into my spirituality and, really just, dig deep and get to know me better, So before I pour it to somebody else, I got to make sure my cup's straight, But I feel like that's a cop-out. I feel like if somebody, really want to be in a relationship with somebody, you're not going to be worried about saying, or you trying to find yourself, or you got a lot of stuff going on, or, yeah, you got a lot on your plate or whatever. If anything, I will argue that a relationship could, lower the stress on that. Like if you got a lot of bills, a relationship, if you find a good man, he could take the stress off you from them bills. If you going through something like, maybe with your family, maybe that man has been through something like that before, and he could give you the right advice, and he probably ain't gonna tell you what you want to hear. He probably gonna tell you what you need to hear. Sometimes we tend to get advice from friends and they tell us, what we want to hear. But, as soon as we really criticize, then, they'll take the defensive route and think that's judgmental. But sometimes, you're going to get people who can give you the real. They might tell you wrong in some situations, so that could be another thing. And also, like if you probably in school, you got a lot of studying going on, you're trying to reach your goal, a good man can help with that, and he won't be a distraction, for getting your schoolwork done. If anything, he probably will help you, come over, come quiz you, and, and don't get in the way of studies or whatever. Like whenever you do have free time, he could be there. And that's another thing, free time and busyness. A lot of people like to use that as a cop out. There's no such thing as somebody being too busy. Like I just feel like everybody choose to give their time to who and whom they want. You know what I'm saying? Whom they want and what they want. You know what I'm saying? If they want to do something this week, they're going to make time to do that this week. If they want to see someone this week, they're going to make time to see that person this week. So a lot of times the men that they actually want, will tell them that they're too busy or tell them that they got a lot going on, because a lot of times people say, oh, they don't want a man and they don't need a man. It's not that. It's just the man that they want or kind of rejecting them, just like how they reject a lot of the simps that's out there in the inbox. Yeah, a lot of men want you, but how many of them men that want you want? So the man that you want probably don't want you the same way you want him, And a lot of females feel like they deserve, a good, man that makes X amount of money, looks like this, treats her like this, they feel like they deserve that. But to be honest, that has to be earned. Like, you can't just think that, oh, just because you didn't been through a lot of failed relationships, you deserve the right man. You can't just think just because you look good, you deserve the right man. No, you gotta have that earned. Like, you gotta, of course, look the part, but you gotta, of course, act the part. A lot of these nasty attitudes, a lot of these combative ways, a lot of these quote unquote masculinity traits you're picking up because other men were too feminine, so you had to tap into your masculinity to overcome that. The man that you want not gonna deal with that unless you just attracted to certain type of men. Now if you're attracted to certain type of men, then that's on you. But at the end of the day, most women gonna want a masculine man that know how to lead, take charge, be dominant. And if he could just, master all them straight traits, still be attractive and still know how to make good decisions, and, he got his money right, he got his bag right, and on top of that, he gotta have, still have a promising future, shit, most women would take that in a heartbeat, and if he demonstrate all these traits, he can't just have it, he gotta demonstrate it. If he demonstrate all these traits, then she's gonna respect him, love him, and admire him. And once you get a female to respect you, love you, and admire you, you got her right there. And that's all three different things, by the way. Like, you could love somebody, but not respect them, or you could respect somebody but not love them. Like, you gotta have all those three things going for you at once, and admire them. So I feel like a lot of these men that they think they deserve, they gotta earn these men, because at the end of the day, it's on the man to go forth with the relationship. The woman got the ball in their court when it comes to sex, but the man got the ball in their court when it comes to a relationship and marriage. So the man gotta do his job to at least attract the woman. He gotta do his job to be attractive to the woman in the first place, so he gotta work his way in when it comes to dating her, courting her, and sex. But once that's out the picture, she will have to work her way in when it comes to obtaining him and keeping him. Because a lot of women can obtain a man, but can you keep the man? That's the trick. Yeah, you might have been on a few dates with this man. You might have been on a few little nightcaps with this man. Y'all probably done fucked a few times or whatever, but did you obtain him? Like, if you 30 years old and you never got proposed to, especially about a man that you want, not just any man, yeah, because any woman could tell you, oh yeah, dude's been proposing to me and all this, but how many proposed to you that you wanted? That's the key. And how many of these dudes you got and you kept? Yeah, y'all probably fucked a few times, but did he take you serious and want a relationship with you? And just because a man don't want a relationship with you, that doesn't mean it's a red flag for yourself. Maybe y'all just not compatible, but if don't no man want a relationship with you, every man just kind of playing the same game, date, fuck, and then disappear, like to me that's a red flag on you as a woman, especially if you 30 plus and you got multiple kids, multiple baby daddies, like you lowering your value point. So when you have these little other extra baggage, you're going to have to really make up for it, like even double time, like whatever catering traits you could perform as a woman to a man, you're gonna have to do that even double. You know what I'm saying? So, man, like I say, man, when it comes to a woman say I don't want a man, yes, all women want a man. I think a lot of men want a woman. Like, you know, who wouldn't want, you know, true love that's unconditional? You know, I think everybody will want that special person, you know, because it can not only perform, it can not only, you know, form into a good partnership with somebody, but it can form into a companionship. And I think a lot of people want companionship, you know, somebody they could love, honor, and trust, you know. And I just feel like when women say they don't want a man, that just bullshit. Like, any woman will want that. Like, one of the biggest goals for a woman is to have a family and a man. Like, it's just, you know, when a woman get proposed to, and a man want to give her their last name, that's like the most, you know, infinite currency a woman can get. Like, all the Instagram likes, all the Twitter retweets, all the Facebook messages, none of that instant gratification compared to that one moment when a man is right there on his knee trying to give you his last name. Like, that's the ultimate, you know, because say what you want, women love attention, you know what I'm saying? And women love to be, you know, chosen, you know. So that's the best attention and choice you could be given right there. You know, a man want to give you his last name. So in that moment right there, she really felt like a princess and a queen, and she really felt like she's on top of the world. So when a woman say they don't want a man, that just capping. When they say they don't need a man, and then they taking up all these, you know, masculinity traits and all this and all that, yeah, you probably just saying that because, you know, maybe you on your high horse because you got a lot of simps, you know, probably, you know, paying bills for you here and there, but eventually these guys are gonna run away. Like, a lot of men, you know, whether they fucking or not, you know, eventually they ain't gonna just keep paying your bills forever. You're gonna have to keep replacing them and keep replacing them, and that could get kind of tiresome. You're gonna want one man that's gonna want to do that, you know, for the long term, you know, because a man could provide for a woman for the long term. We just wired like that, but a woman can't do that for a man, you know. And a woman gonna want one man to do that, you know, instead of getting all these multiple men to do X, Y, and Z, this man for this man for that. A woman just gonna want one man to fulfill all those needs, all wrapped into one, you know. And I feel like social media play a part in that. The Cash App and the bios play a part of that. The gifts play a part in that. The tips play a part in that. These OnlyFans, like all these forms of still getting attention, still getting seen and viewed, and still getting you know, little pretty privilege, and just, you know, all these little well, I can't even think of the word right now, but, you know, just all this attention from men, and, you know, all this easy access to, you know, just getting flown out and money or whatever. I think that right there, that kind of plays a part in it too. That plays a part in a woman getting big-headed or whatever. But eventually, your look's gonna fade, and you're gonna want somebody that you're gonna want to grow old with, because the time is ticking. And once you hit about 35 and you're ready to settle down, it might be too late. You know, because you're gonna probably still end up with a man, because it's somebody out there for everybody. But that man that you end up with might not be the man that you exactly wanted, but it's probably the best you can get. And do you want to settle for that, or do you want to get the man you truly wanted from jump, like just your ideal man? You know, that's what you got to think about. But let me know in the comment down section below what y'all think when a woman says I don't want a man or I don't need a man. That's just my perspective.